Hi Vijay, good morning. How are you?
I am doing fine, Viraj. Good morning. And how are you today?
I'm good and I'm really looking forward to our discussion on the topic of improving soft skills using role plays.
Thanks, Viraj, for participating in this discussion. You have also been involved in these areas of improving soft skills. So I am looking forward to our discussion.
Yeah. So Vijay, first of all, before we go on to role play, would you like to tell us something about soft skills?
Sure, Viraj. See, normally refer to functional skills as the hard skills like
Yes.
software programming, data analysis, Gantt charting, project management. In comparison to that, soft skills are skills like communicating, delegating to someone the work, providing feedback, those kind of things. Your thoughts, Viraj?
I agree, but then I also want to know your opinion about importance of soft skills as compared to hard skills.
True. So, whatever our specific job role is, most of our time you will find that we will be interacting with other people. So,
Yes.
if academic qualifications and these functional skills got us the job, in order to succeed in that job role and to further grow to our next level, our interpersonal effectiveness will be of main importance here. So that's why the soft skills are being termed as the power skills or the meta skills of today's time. What has been your experience, Viraj?
When you say after getting the job, I think even to get the job, we require soft skills, right? Because we
Totally,
communicate with the interviewer and we convince them that we are the right fit for the job. So if we are
totally,
talking about communication, it's important even to get the job, right?
completely. I agree. I agree. Totally. Well said.
Yeah, but then I'm wondering if you have some examples of soft skills which are specific to certain jobs or roles.
There are like a lot of soft skills, but with the role, like let's say your role is about sales and closing deals all the time, then negotiating becomes very important. If you are in the recruitment function, then asking candidates to questions and how you ask those questions becomes most relevant. And let's say your job role is about customer satisfaction or customer experience, then listening very actively to what your customer is saying is critical to your success and growth.
Right. So basically, you are saying that in any job where we interact with people during that interaction or just to work in a team, we are going to require these skills, right?
Exactly, exactly. Well said.
Yeah. So can we say that soft skills is a way to perform according to your hard skills?
Yes, so both work hand in hand. Good observation. The hard skills are the role specific skills. So soft skills work hand in glove with the hard skill, both
Right.
together. Yeah.
Right. But then, if somebody is in a managerial role or let's say in a leadership role, then what kind of soft skills they should develop? Because you have very good experience of coaching, you might have better idea about this.
Yes, for managerial and leadership roles, see the main aspect is the functional element about the job is being done by the your team members. So the skills then what become more relevant and impactful are like how you are adapting your communication based on the behavioral style of the other person, how you are listening empathetically, how you effectively provide feedback, what is your level of resilience,
Hmm.
emotional agility to not get flustered in situations. Those things become important.
Yeah. So those are at the personal level of a leader or a
Sure,
manager.
sure.
But then, are there any soft skills that can help this leader or manager to get more productivity from their team or to leverage on them?
Yeah, totally. Great question. From these personal soft skills, what uh, is exhibited outside is how a leader encourages participation from their team members by soliciting their ideas and opinions, how are they interacting with their team members, the upper management, stakeholders? How are they regulating their emotions when there are moments which are difficult? How are they empowering others, influencing others to their viewpoint? At times managing conflict, and last but not the least, holding the team members accountable for the results and outcomes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also said that a leader is a good leader if they can identify the strengths and weaknesses of their team members and then assign role according to their strengths and caution against their weaknesses or help them improve their areas of improvement, right?
Yeah, super observation. Yes, one of the power skills or super skills of a manager or a leader is to be able to understand the strengths and weaknesses of people and assign their roles or optimize, as we say, their talent in their team. Yeah, great question. What has been your experience in your coaching journey, Viraj, about this topic?
Yeah, so yes, I have worked with a lot of people and so a lot of leaders also. And I do see a difference on their leadership styles based on the level of their soft skills. So I have worked with leaders who have acted as bosses at times where they don't know how to leverage on my strengths or weaknesses or how to provide me a vision or motivate me so that I can work better. While I also have leaders who have shown me ways where I have mistaken and helped me through difficult situations and gave me some important life lessons. So I completely agree with you.
Absolutely. Great observations, great points from your own journey as a professional and as a coach.
Okay. So thanks, BJ, for those insights. Can you also tell us what are some of the ways to improve a team's soft skills?
Sure. One of the most simple and effective ways, Viraj, is, as you will agree, is to recognize the verbal and non-verbal cues like body language and tone changes, facial expressions, and then appropriately responding to the words that people speak as well as the non-verbal cues. So, important factor here is to respond rather than react. What are your thoughts on this, Viraj?
I know that, of course, non-verbal communication is 93% of the total communication, and 7% is the verbal communication. So it's very crucial that we understand, especially the non-verbal cues when we are talking with someone, especially when you are a leader and you are communicating with the team. The team members rely a lot on your communication cues. So I think that's very important. I agree. But in my experience, these aspects can't solely be taught in theory because it requires practice, especially for non-verbal communication. We cannot just read it and understand. So, is there any way, or what is your experience with it?
Exactly true. For any of these soft skills, most important is we interact with other people, because in order to learn these soft skills, we need those people with whom we can exercise this. Now, there are two ways we can exercise this: in actual work settings or in simulated work environments and settings.
Okay. So, we have heard several stories of athletes achieving high performance through continuous practice. Any insights on the similarities in the business world for leaders?
Absolutely. The old saying was practice makes perfect. Now we have
Yeah.
appropriately modified it to practice makes progress.
Nice.
Perfection is a myth. So athletes, through regular and relentless practice day in and day out, master a particular sport. Similarly, in a business environment, people need to practice continuously their approach, their mannerism, their tone modulation, the choice of words, etc., in order to gain mastery or competence in a particular soft skill.
Yeah. So it's like net practice, right, for athletes. But in
Exactly.
business, yeah, that net practice is required in businesses also. Okay. So in my previous question, you said simulated work setting. Would you like to tell us more about it?
Sure, great observation, Viraj. Soft skills, since they need practice, a workplace setting is the actual environment where it comes to fruition. However, sometimes we may sound a little wishy-washy and a little weird while uh, practicing and improving that in actual work situations.
Right.
So, a simulated environment is something that is most appropriate for practice. Basically, that simulated environment is safe where no one is blamed for, and you are practicing till the time you feel more and more confident. So, uh, essentially, that's why we brought the element of role plays as a method of practicing.
Role play. Can you help us understand more about role plays?
Absolutely. So, like we had in those drama practice and stuff, role play is that simulated or safe environment that we create. It is almost like a gym for exercising your soft skills, like how we go to the gym and exercise, all carrying weights and doing those exercises. So we exercise and improve our skills. This is a means to provide an opportunity to the participant to think off their feet and respond to what we call mimicked situations. And it is a safe environment because it is the practice environment. So people could make mistakes, learn from them, and improvise on them. What is your viewpoint about role plays?
I remember an experience when I was attending a workshop and we were practicing these difficult conversations where you have to say no to someone or where you have to ask difficult questions or
Right.
give feedback. At that time, this actually helped, like how we make mistakes and how the conversations completely go in a wrong direction and we end up having conflicts. But then practicing this could help us practice some concepts that we had learned in theory and then apply it in practice. So
Wow.
yeah, it's a very effective way.
Tell a little bit more. I am always curious to know how has been someone's experience when observing other people do role plays, when being a
Yeah.
participant. There are various roles that we play also. So just curious to know a little bit more from your perspective, if you don't mind, Viraj.
Okay, nice. So this was about a student talking to a professor, and the student had to play a role where she had to request the professor to postpone the exams a little bit because they were not prepared.
Mm.
And the conversation went so off the track that the student started accusing professor that you don't take proper classes and you don't teach well.
Wow.
And these are the mistakes that happens during role plays that make us aware that we should not behave like this in real life setting. And this is not how the conversation should go.
Wow.
So it was really good. And in one situation where we had to say no to a situation, the participant actually ended up saying yes in the end. So that's how also we learn that how we
Right.
behave. And even in the simulated scenario, it's a situation becomes so real that,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Thanks for sharing this.
Yeah, but what are your experiences? What are other benefits that you have observed through role plays?
So role plays allows a person to become effective at that skill. The performance improves as we keep practice because it is like a facilitated environment. This is like almost lifelike. So it
Yeah.
enables the person to feel in the moment that they are actually encountering that specific issue or the challenge. And it becomes like a in the moment training when the actual thoughts and emotions are being fired and triggered through the other participant, and you can
Mm.
feel those thoughts and emotions as if they are real because the mind in that simulated environment still gets transported to the same space and mindset and thinking. So great benefit of role play in a safe simulated environment.
Yes, I understand that there are many benefits of using role plays, but in your experience, there has to be certain criteria also to make them effective, right?
Absolutely. See, one of the criteria, Viraj, is that the situations or the scenarios must look realistic and they must be relevant to what the person is facing consistently or the area where they are facing the challenge. And through the role play, we must be able to evoke real life emotions. And when we are responding, we must express realistic behavior as if the situation is really happening. This will heighten that learning experience and make the person feel like they are actually going through that situation.
Right.
And it will help in imbibing inside their mind the traits or the method of how they are thinking when they are actually facing the real life situation. So it will trigger that same thought or fire those neurons.
Right. So if somebody wants to implement role play practices in their organization, can you give some suggestions for the best practices?
Sure. So one of the first areas is to encourage and enable participation by getting
Okay.
on board. Other thing is to create this positive environment for learning by encouraging the trial and error approach, telling them to focus on one specific scenario at a time to completely practice that particular behavior or skill. If you are the observer, then appreciate their effort because they are learning and improvising. And then guide them wherever you think they must be guided to stay on track. Provide the necessary feedback in a constructive manner to them. Your thoughts? Anything to add?
I agree that participation is very important, because when sometimes participants are not completely on board and maybe they feel shy or are introverted, at that time probably it may not work. So it's important to develop that confidence in them that this is not to judge them and nobody is there to score them. It is just for their own practices, right?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Great idea. So, yeah,
Right.
true.
So how would we give our viewers a taste of role play? How about we do it?
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's go for it.
Yeah. So can you suggest a simple role play and then we can discuss it?
Sure. So, how about a manager practicing how to provide feedback in an effective manner to their direct report?
Okay. So one of us will be playing the direct report and one of us will be playing the manager, and the feedback giving process would be practiced.
Precisely. In this role play, uh, how about you are the direct report and I will be the manager, and we are practicing this in a manner that I am being effective, so that people can take the cue about the best practices that I'm using, those kind of things.
Okay. Okay. Can you provide some context so that we can do it well?
Yeah. So I, as your manager, is going to provide feedback in a manner that is effective so that you absorb and understand the feedback that I will be providing.
Okay. How about let's just start it?
Sure. See, some of the things that I would want to suggest here is the outcome for this role play is that you understand the feedback well. You are open to shift your thinking, open to shift the thinking. Then the action will going to happen. So basically, I'm uh, kind of nudging you in that direction as well as encouraging you to make those.
Right.
And what we can do is we can tell our viewers to notice the verbal, non-verbal parts of our communication, how you and I modulate our tone when you feel the openness to change, how your facial expression tone is changing, those kind of things. Sound
Okay.
good? Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. So this is for our audience. I, Viraj Vora, will be playing the employee, and BJ is going to play the role of the manager.
The audience would want to be aware of where the conflict is happening in the mind of you as the direct report, where I am providing the feedback in a constructive manner, where you start getting open to change your approach, where the emotions are being shown, those kind of things. Anything to add, Viraj?
No, I think we would know more as we do it. I think let's just practice it once. The role play starts now. Good morning, BJ. How are you?
Hi Viraj, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Glad that you are available for this discussion.
Yeah, BJ, actually, I'm here to get your guidance and suggestions for my progress.
Of course, I am happy to offer my thoughts and I appreciate your openness about this, Viraj.
Yeah, so BJ, actually, I wanted to know if you have some observations or feedback as to why I'm not being promoted.
Yes, Viraj. How about first you sharing your perspective about your work so far and your interactions with the team?
Actually, I'm little unhappy that my contribution is not being valued, and the feedback suggests that my skills on engagement of others are very low.
I notice your unhappiness, Viraj. I have seen your performance, and as your manager, I acknowledge your efficiency in getting various tasks done. And
Yeah.
I can see how this low rating on team engagement has made you upset.
Thanks for noticing that. But then what should I do? Is there any guidance for me?
Sure, Viraj. So, offering my observation, it seems that you are very introverted and focused mainly on the tasks at hand for you. Your thoughts, Viraj?
Yes, and I'm introvert everywhere. This is who I am. It's not just about office. I'm introvert everywhere. But I don't understand how that is affecting my progress because I'm still getting the task done.
True. Functionally, you are getting the task done very well. As your manager, I have evaluated that part. Now, what really happens, Viraj, each personality type, whether introverted, extroverted, has its advantages and disadvantages. In your case, your introversion, when it comes to team engagement, it's seen like you are like an all task, no social or no touch type of person. Does that make sense?
Yes, that happens because I am thinking that it is good that I'm always focused on my work and I am not getting into gossips and other talks with others. I don't socialize. But now I think it is getting against me.
Yes, see, your introverted behavior otherwise allows you to think well, analyze well, and get your tasks done well. Now, since we work with other people, this no social, no touch kind of behavior has an adverse or a negative impact on team camaraderie. So, as you know, the company culture is about being social in our interactions too. That doesn't mean that we are opening up on the privacy aspects, but when we open ourselves and build rapport with other people, we increase the positive vibe in the team. And this helps in working together, managing difficult situations, removing conflicts, allowing integrative approaches to negotiating with other people.
I have observed that some team members who are extroverted can do this really well, and I sometimes do aspire to be like them. But can you give me some specific suggestions on what should I do?
Sure, sure. And thanks for being open, Viraj. See, one of the first things, if you would like to, is just by becoming mindful of your, if you are conscious that how you are auto conditioned to disallow any small talk, not gossip though, but small talk with people to make them feel personalized with you. If you are mindful, you will be able to reflect that did you take that existing approach of just disassociating or being too detached. Once you start doing that, you will realize where the opportunities come to flex your behavior in that situation. How does
Okay.
that come across to you?
So, what I'm getting is that in addition to communicating more with people and discussing ideas more with them, I will also need to practice a little bit open mindedness so I can accept their viewpoints and flex myself,
Very
right?
well said. Yeah, very well said, Viraj.
Okay.
One is being conscious or mindful, and then reflecting on that. And then next
Yeah.
time taking the choice of being open to flex as per the situation or the person in front of
Yeah. I think I can do that. Anything else that I should do?
you. I think the more you become mindful or prepare yourself to be mindful, especially when there are team interactions, and then during the actual act, see how much you are flexing or not. After that, reflect on that for a few minutes to see how you came across so that you can decide what needs to be changed, what needs to be done even more in terms of the intensity. And slowly you will become more habituated in this newer approach.
Yeah, I think I can certainly give it a try. It doesn't sound that difficult.
Awesome, awesome. Great openness and willingness, Viraj. And feel free to discuss if there is any issues that come that block the progress or your practice in this area, Viraj.
Oh, thanks, BJ. I surely will. I really appreciate your suggestions and guidance.
Anytime, Viraj. Look, you are a good employee and team member. I want you to feel valued here. And thanks for discussing this with me.
Thank you. Thank you. I think this would be an opportunity for me to change my personality also. Thank you.
That's
Thanks a
good.
lot.
Yeah, personality change, all that is gradual, and you have the full agency, you have the full control to change what
Yeah.
you want, not change what you don't want. It is not about being an imposter or a fake. It is
Hmm.
about gradually adapting yourself,
Right.
because some people find the conflict that this is who I am, my authentic self, and if I am changing the behavior in the moment, am I not being like a fake person? The answer is no. That is you too. It's all
Yeah.
shades of you. We are not talking about a black or a white or a
Hmm.
digital one or a digital zero. We talk about the multiple shades of gray in today's world. And we have
Yeah.
seen personalities of people that adapt. The key word there is adapt. It's not about the fact, yes, it may sound a little bit like because you are doing the first time, but it is still
Yeah.
you with a cap, still BJ. Without the cap, it's still BJ. With a little heavy tone, it's still BJ. With a little
Right.
lighter tone, it's still BJ. With a great smile on the face, it is still Viraj. And with a little lesser smile, it is still Viraj.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
sense? Make sense?
Yes, yes, yes. Thanks a lot, BJ. I started this discussion on a different expression and mood, and I'm going away with a very positive approach to it now.
Thanks for saying that. You made my day as well, Viraj.
Thank you. Bye, BJ.
Thank you.
Well, BJ, that role play was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. What were your observations, Viraj? You have been a great observer, I have noticed in our previous workshops and interactions.
Well, first of all, I must say that I started it as an acting role play, but it really started feeling like I have got a bad feedback and I really want some suggestions from my superior how to improve my behavior. So it triggered my thinking and brought up multiple options. Um, yeah, and in addition to just, it's not just about what kind of feedback that I receive and what should I work on, but I could also observe how some non-verbal cues that the speaker is giving us when they are talking. For example, when you were taking pause and were more emphasizing the words like being mindful or not changing the personality, not being the imposter, so I think these words will stay with the listener even after they leave the meeting and when they are practicing the changes in their behavior after a long time. So, yeah. Plus, I also noticed how I started with becoming little less receptive to the feedback. And as I was accepting more and more, the expressions changed and the smile started coming. So you also knew that your message is being received and
Exactly.
just to go in that direction or change the direction or, yeah, when to stop, when to start talking, when to ask questions. I think a lot of things can happen when we do role play.
So completely. Great observations, Viraj, as always. And Yes, it seemed like a real situation. The brain started thinking and prompting the response in the manner as if it's an actual situation. It heightened your awareness in that moment. And the other part was, since you became open, then you chose the different set of options here now. So
Yeah.
that's the change when you became open. And like you rightly said, I could spot in your smile or in your change of tone that the message is getting received. The feedback is landing well.
Yeah.
In feedback, we say good sandwich and the word quote unquote shit sandwich. Like they
Okay.
say, like not a good feedback. Some
Ah,
people use the word shit sandwich. So, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, any
Yeah.
additional comments, Viraj, or feedback about the
I
gameplay?
was also wondering that when we are doing this role play, because we are very conscious of our behavior and because we know that somebody is observing you, does that make people more in the response mode while they might actually be in the reactive mode?
Uh, True, it could happen that when others are observing, we get a little conscious. And that is true with everyone because we put on sometimes an act in front of others. However,
Mm,
see, the more and more we start doing it, then it becomes ingrained in us as a habitual.
right.
So, true, true. Early stage, it seems like that's not me. I'm doing this because other people are observing me. But really, then it becomes, it is me. And I accept and adopt what I want to adopt as a new practice. So it is me. And then it becomes habitual in me. Then it doesn't seem like I am doing the extra effort to do
Acting.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
between conscious competence, when you had first like a stage of conscious incompetence that I
Incompetence.
don't know, then you become consciously competent. And then the next level, as a lot of people, I am unconsciously competent. Meaning it is so habitual in me that I don't even have to be mindful and conscious. That's
About
the
it.
new
It just
approach.
becomes habit.
Become a
Yes.
habit, new habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I agree. That can actually happen. And yeah, that's the goal. That if every new practice that comes along, if we do this net practice through role play, then we can keep practicing it more and more until it becomes habit, and then we don't have to be so conscious about it. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. True.
Yeah. So I was just wondering if these role plays could get automated and using an AI tool or a bot.
A great question for today's time. Absolutely, yes. An AI or artificial intelligence enabled tool can help automate the role play script.
Yeah. And this could help the participants practice the role play on their own. And they may not need any coach or other person. How about the use of bots?
Yes, exactly. The role play practice, if automated well using some effective AI or automation tool, they can do
Mm,
it in absence of the coach or in absence of the other person because you are simulating that other person. Bots have been traditionally being used for the last few years, mainly on websites. They pop up as on the web page to greet the visitor or assist with some basic questions, point in some directions.
right,
Bots can also be used as a means to automate the role play and practice.
right. So where do you see this headed to?
So a couple of years of use of bots and these simple things about web page interaction, and I think the next phase of all this is fine tuning and optimizing these so-called bots, as if like we are optimizing people. Now we are
Right.
optimizing bots.
Yeah. Bots with soft skills, right?
Bots exactly.
Can you share a little more?
Right, sure, sure. So what happens is now we are using a bot and then the script is automated. So the bot kind of behaves in that given simulation like a human. It's like a great augmentation to the human interaction. See, there is
Mm,
already a lot of buzz and talk about chat GPT. I mean,
yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
like taken everything away. Just curious to know what are your thoughts and perspectives on this bot and chat GPT and stuff.
That's true. In fact, everybody is talking about Chat GPT and everybody is talking about bot these days, and for everything, like you said, on websites also. As soon as you go on a website, it suddenly starts popping up like, "What can I help you with?" And you get help every step.
Yeah,
So Chat GPT has suddenly created a wave of a buzzword that you are saying, and a wave of everybody using them. That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah, and Viraj, we are just getting started for this. This is bringing in the next wave in the evolution of humans and machines learning and working together. So we have a long way to go from this.
Yeah, that's true. Coming back to our role play, would you suggest a completely user driven experience of the role play or a pre and post conditioning by a coach or consultant?
Yeah, another great question. Actually, if you don't mind, could you share a little bit of your perspective about the use of this pre and post conditioning and the role play
Yeah.
in between?
So I have been thinking about this for a while, and I agree that Chat GPT and bot are all good, and they are bringing change in every industry. But then I also believe that human touch is also necessary to guide people sometimes. But when we talk about just bot, I think a user-driven experience would be better, because when I know what I want to improve on, I can practice it in that way. What do you think?
Exactly. Very well said. Actually, the knowing of what I want and specifically engaging with that particular AI-enabled role plays or a bot will help enable the practicing of that particular behavior or skill. So the preconditioning through some kinds of workshops or a seminar or group coaching can help the participant understand what is the best
Yeah.
practices for a particular skill. And then the post conditioning can help in the debrief and the reflection of that. And all that will help in further deepening the learning. So, post
Yeah.
conditioning through one on one, if it is very personal or a group coaching kind of scenario, will help in that regard.
Oh, so you are saying that if I attend a workshop with a coach, the coach can let me know that I probably need to work on my assertive communication. And then after knowing that, what I can use ChatGPT or bot to practice assertive communication, and then again going back to the coach to see the results or how I improved, right?
Exactly, very well structured. And
Hmm.
this conditioning of the bots or chat GPT, that next phase will actually help in this. We are just getting started with the baseline. Amazing stuff done with AI enablement of all this. So, yeah, true.
Right, right. So, what would be the best sequence of using the automated role play and human intervention?
So normally it would depend on the situation. Like you said, that the coach figures out what is this use case or what is the need, where, like you said very rightly, what is required. But
Yeah.
in any general case, the sequence would be first some kind of group coaching or workshop to explain the scenario very well and to explain all the best practices to keep in mind when practicing. And then the person goes in to practice this in a group, individually, using some kind of AI enabled tool or a bot or something. And then finally, again, bringing them back, like you said, for a one on one or a group coaching for a debrief, reflection on what they observed and learned, and then their option to choose what actions they want to do, whether they want to increase the intensity of something, they want to reduce something, they want to modify something, to deepen that learning and that growth. Your thoughts, Virat?
Yeah, I agree. And I'm really looking forward to such experiences if they are used soon. Yeah.
Right. I think we are getting started with this, and this was a great discussion.
Yeah, it was. It made my morning, and I came to know, even though I had practiced role play so much, being a participant and being a facilitator as well, I got to know some new things. And of course, doing role play with you was a lot of fun.
Likewise, Viraj, thanks for your time. And I enjoyed this too. I think we should do more of these role plays. And I'm curious to get the users or the viewers' comments and feedback on how this podcast made sense in their world or what was applicable to them.
Right. In fact, they can also let us know if they want more topics like this. They can also suggest some topics that they want to listen, and we can do discussions on that.
Right, very well said. Actually, there are so many topics like how to interpret other person's personality, style,
Yeah.
how to adapt your communication when you are dealing with your boss, when you are dealing with an angry or an irate customer, when you are trying to motivate your employee to do something, delegate some work. There are so many instances holding people accountable for their results or outcome if they are not performing well,
Right.
those kind of things.
Yeah, let's do that soon.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Viraj.
Thanks, Vijay.